Hey, Tommy, just wanted to, first of all, say thanks for checking in and coming back. And you've definitely made some improvements. Great to see that. I appreciate you being coachable and working with me. So this play, I have nothing wrong with this play at all. I think you did a great job. You got your shoulders around. You stepped up in the pocket. Great presence in the pocket. A great completion, and that's what it's all about. Now let's play again. You did a great job getting those shoulders around. Your eyes are downfield. It's a great completion. Obviously, for the receiver, would like to see more yards after catch, but that was well executed. So great job on that one. Now, this play, as you see, you will in a second here. You really didn't have anywhere to go with the ball, right? So you've got basically the defense has got you beat 3-2 over top. You've got what looks like man coverage in the flat. So there's really not much for you to do. You don't have too many options. Coaching quarterbacks, we say there are good sacks and there are bad sacks. The bad sacks are the ones where you drop the ball, or you trip over the guard, or something like that happens. Uh, the good sacks are the one where it's just a coverage sack. There's nothing you can really do about it unless you can get out of the pocket. You do have the ability to throw the ball away in high school now, at least in most states anyway. But it's probably a little tough in this situation because you had a lot of pressure on you and it was pretty quick. So yeah, nothing much you can do. Now, in this case, I don't know if this was an RPO or not, but if your pre-snap read is that corner for this stay route on the left-hand side, you might want to think about throwing that right away. It's a little harder to do if you're left-handed trying to get the ball to the left, but that's my kind of my take on that one. Now, in this case, I believe it was an RPO because you do have a pin and pull called. Your running back though looks like he's actually blocking. So I don't know if it was supposed to be a pin and pull QB power kind of look. Um, but other than that, I think it was number four in that post in the towards the end zone. I think he didn't really have many options. Now in this case, I'm assuming you're another RPO. I believe you're reading that inside backer or that nickel. Um, Now, in this case, you'll see that nickel starts to backpedal immediately. So you got to be able to recognize that, especially if you understand that you're going to have that slant coming from, I don't know if it was coming from number one into the hook zone. So you got to be able to recognize that quickly. As soon as he starts to backpedal, know where you've got to go with the football. And get it there just a little bit earlier. You could have released it right now, I think, and gotten the ball there. Um, but again, you had some leakage up front, so the pressure got to you. Now this is a strong side rollout pass, and normally with a rollout pass to the strong side, and you being left-handed, we would teach a right-footed crossover. And when you make that right foot crossover step, you want the ball at your ear right now, so you can get rid of the ball as soon as that left foot comes around. So you were a little bit delayed on that one, which I think is what threw you off balance. And if you look there, you're really just throwing again with your arm and your shoulder. And I'll have some more on that a little bit later on in the clips. But you still did a good job of getting the ball out there. All right, so this play, you got a nice little play fake here on that shovel pass. Um, that looked pretty good. I'm not a big fan of this the back pedal drop personally, but some coaches do teach that. I would love to see your shoulders around just a little bit more. Now you might have been reading your progressions. It kind of looks like you were looking at the flats first. Um, and then you do eventually get your shoulders down. But watch your wind up and your step here. So now you take your step with your front foot, and this is when you start to transfer your weight, right? So now the only thing left, you've wound up a little bit. So the only thing left is really just your arm. So you're really just kind of throwing all arm and shoulder at that point. You do a really good job actually of getting the ball downfield with that wind up. But it floats on you just a little bit, and that's part of the reason is because of that wind up. And so here we go again. This will be another example of the windup. What we usually teach is get the ball up to your ear if you're going to get rid of the ball. So you'll see right here again. You step, and there's your step, and we still have the ball down kind of low. We like to have the ball at the ear at this point. And now as you're throwing, if you look right there, you've got your right foot down on the ground. Your left foot is coming along behind you, and the ball's coming out. The only thing you're really throwing with is your arm and your shoulder at that point. You did a good job of getting the ball out there. Usually what we teach is to try to get the ball up to your ear and release it from there. All right, so here's another one. I think of the step and the wind up and the throw, but at the same time, take a look at that crossover motion or your follow through. So you notice how your left hand is kind of straight out, and what happens? It's hard to see on the film here, but like you can barely see it's coming across to your right shoulder. Usually, what we teach is as you drop back, you get that ball up, get your left hand up to your left ear, and then when you step and throw, that's an immediate release coming right out of the chute, right? And your follow through should be your left hand coming down to your right hip as opposed to across to your right shoulder. If you're going kind of across like that in sort of a sidearm motion, the ball will go anywhere left to right. If you're straight up and down, you're going to be a little bit more accurate.